Hi friends, welcome to another photo walk video. I'm changing things up, as you might be able to notice if you have eyeballs. Or if you're an audio file with no eyeballs and you can tell that I'm using my microphone. I went on a photo walk the other day to a place called Provo, Utah, which is south of here. I decided I would go down there to see if I could find some interesting opportunities for photos. I first came across a skate park. And I noticed there were a lot of people there, and I thought this might be fantastic. Now, the skate park had a very cluttered background, so that presented some issues later on. But I came across a kid who was wearing a mask. He was riding a scooter. And I thought, let me go walk up to him and ask if I can take some photos of him. This way I can hover around him, grab some shots, and it'll be a lovely start to the photo walk, me interacting with somebody right off the beginning. Well, my GoPro recorded 8 seconds. Good. So there's that. Another issue that occurred is that I did not format my main shooting camera's SD card before shooting because everything was happening so fast. Probably should have done it at home before I ever left. But I like to do things the hard way sometimes. But I was able to capture some photos before it filled up, and I just had to slowly keep deleting photos so that I had more room to take photos. I captured this one. I captured this one, a few others, and then a portrait. So what do we learn from this? Well, you should format your cards and make sure your batteries are charged before going out on a photo walk, and also check all of your settings. And in regards to the GoPro, I have no idea what happened, so I'm not sure what to learn there, except maybe watch the GoPro for 10 seconds before you decide to, but you can't do that every time. I don't know. I also had a live stream where I edited all the photos that are in this photo walk video. This live stream, which is now unlisted, but I'm putting the link to the live stream in the description of this video so you can watch it, started off incredibly chaotically and possibly hysterically chaotically if you're interested in that kind of humor. I don't know if you can see, it looks like my camera's frozen too. This is really bad. This is really a situation. I realized that my computer, my laptop, does not want to stream me editing on a 4K monitor. And it really horribly. Welcome to James's disaster stream. So because of that, I had to edit on my laptop, which fixed everything. It was a learning experience overall. I also put a timestamp in the description of that video for you to skip the chaos if you just want to get straight to the Lightroom editing. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the photo walk. Well, that was remarkably irritating, but I am in a town called Provo. I'm gonna see what opportunity awaits. This is a very pretty design and building. Oh, okay. Got some folks playing baseball over here. Oh, sorry. I didn't have a hand for it.
You're just fine. Better to save the camera.
I did want to ask you guys a question though.
Yeah, what's up?
So I'm a photographer. I'm a street photographer.
Oh, nice.
I take photos of interesting people that I find on the street.
Right on.
I noticed you guys are playing baseball. I don't see that
Hell yeah.
all the time. So I was just wondering if I could get some shots of you guys doing your thing.
Yeah, that's totally fun with me.
Okay.
Alright, Lisa, okay? Take some pictures of you and us? Sure. Cool.
Sweet. All right, do your thing. Pretend like I'm not here. I'm gonna put myself in the line of fire, but I think it's gonna be worth it.
Sure, I'll catch it for you. What's your name, man?
I'm James.
James, nice to meet you.
All right, who are you guys?
I'm Reese.
Reese?
And that's Riley.
Riley. Okay, good to meet you guys.
This is my barbershop right here.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic.
Ooh, big curve.
So you guys work together?
No, he's my client. I just cut his hair.
Oh, okay. All right. Looks like you did a good job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Whew. My groin sucked inside of me. It's super gnarly being right here. This is way more exciting than most of my photo shoots. It really adds a level of tension having a ball coming at your face. If I get some winners, I think I did, they'll be on my Instagram account.
Okay.
And my name is James Red,
Okay.
with 2 D's.
Awesome.
That's a pretty spot. Yeah. I was curious, like, how's the coronavirus been affecting you guys? I know it's been one of the things that's been kind of weird.
Yeah, it's been
is
slow.
haircuts.
We're trying to stay open and just, you know, do our best. And it picked up this week though a little bit.
Okay. Hasn't been too crazy though?
Not too bad. We hired 2 new barbers this past month and a half, so
Yeah.
it was hard timing. But just steady as she goes, and we'll keep growing. Things will go back to normal in the summertime. And,
Yeah.
we'll get really busy.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys aren't being hit too hard. Yeah.
You want a water or something?
No, I'm okay, man.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Tell me your name again.
I was James.
James Red with 2
James
Ds.
Red with 2 D's.
Okay.
What was your name again?
I'm Reese.
All right, Reese. That's right.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
Have
man.
a great day.
Yeah, you too. See you, man. Nice fellow. Very dapper. Am I still recording? Okay, I got that one. All right. So when the ball would come my way, I'd be taking photos, and when the shutter is flipping, I'm looking at the world at, you know, a couple of frames per second as opposed to real time. So I can't quite see where the ball is. So I was halfway prepared for a ball to just come through the lens or hit my face or my forehead. But that was nice. And that was really a random serendipitous blessing, having a couple of dudes playing baseball on the sidewalk. All right. Oh, this is interesting. Let's see. Move my shutter speed a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay. Focus on the lamp post. Interesting. It's important to me that I don't block any prominent parts of the mountain in a way that feels like it's clashing. A lot of good food places around here. Looks like small business owners, which is always great to see. It's very interesting to me how little people seem to notice or care about the GoPro. I would have thought more people would have asked me about it when I started wearing it. Because, you know, everybody doesn't walk around with a GoPro strapped to their chest. This guy does. Lots of interesting art as well. Very colorful place. Probably a fun place to be on like a Friday evening. I'd like to put a person right there. This spot feels interesting to me, so I'm kind of just hanging around. Let's see. Any of the stripes there? Perfect. Come on, come on, come on. You find her. quite the stride that fellow has. Really am impressed with how colorful this town is. This is an interesting scene. We got some layering going on that I'm fond of. Run out of space to back up anymore and I would get hit by a van. Alright. Speak of the devil. I've had the pleasure of going inside this building before, and it is one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. It's lovely. Lots of photographers walking around here. Oh, I get it. This girl is a photographer for these girls. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, oh no, that was waving at the car. Okay, it's not confirmed yet. Still not confirmed. Pending. There is a glove on the ground. I like to see if I'm right about things in the world. Yep, nailed it. Relocation. There's a fly in my car. Get out of here, sir! Now I've come to a local grocery store. I'm going to see if I can capture somebody with a mask on in front of the grocery store. There are many people to choose from wearing masks. It's like 50% of shoppers are wearing them right now. This is a location that makes you feel much more self-aware than downtown. Okay, moving on. I was only there for a few minutes, but I immediately felt pretty awkward and out of place. Okay, I'm back downtown. I noticed a guy walking around earlier who had a camera in his hand, looked like a street photographer, and here he is again, so I want to see what he's up to. Hey, excuse me, man. Sorry to interrupt you. I just saw you walking around with a camera, and I was just curious what you were up to.
Oh, I'm just shooting around.
Shooting around?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of photography do you like to do?
Usually street photography.
Street photography?
There's not a lot of people out, so it's been kind of sparse. But
that's why I was wondering, because you look like a street photographer. That's what I do too.
yeah. Oh, sick.
So I live up in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I used to go to downtown Salt Lake, but it's shut down right now.
Right, and yes, and so I decided I would take the opportunity of it being so weird right now to come down here and just kind of explore Provo a little bit. Do you come to this spot a lot?
I've been here a handful of times.
Okay.
But I mean, there's not much.
Yeah.
After like 2 times that you come through, you kind of seen everything. But
okay, yeah, I was just curious, like, of any tips on where to go. It's really colorful. I think that's one thing I do
it's nice,
like about it. It's actually more colorful than downtown Salt Lake, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Lots of art.
There's like murals all over the place.
Right.
Kind of like, it's kind of fun to like find them.
Do you like to shoot people?
Yeah, if I can. But
okay. If you can find them.
It's hard right now.
Yeah, I got super lucky earlier. There's a barber shop right up here.
Yeah.
There was a guy, and he was wearing this really nice outfit, and he was playing baseball with his friend. They were just playing fetch in front of the barber shop.
Oh, that's cool.
So I asked him if I could take some photos, and I hovered around and almost got hit by a baseball. It was good times. What body is that?
It's a Fujifilm X-T2.
Those are so pretty.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I love about those over like Sony cameras is the bodies are just so beautiful.
Yeah, the lenses too.
The lenses are
so
pretty.
Light and
yeah.
just, like, well built.
Is it APS-C?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's cool.
But other lenses are made for APS-C. That's why they're super small and light.
Yeah. Do you ever shoot film or just digital?
Just digital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
I
barely know what to do with film. Yeah.
With film, I shot here and there, but it's like either pricey to send it to a lab to get it developed, or to like buy chemicals to do that. So.
Right. And I make YouTube videos too. So what I do is I'll record my photo walks, and I'll that's what this is all about. And so I'll record just what I'm up to and the people I come across and that sort of thing. And if I had film, it would make the output process a lot slower, right?
Definitely.
So luckily I can just take my SD card and just offload it into Lightroom and boom, 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 boom. It's already slow enough to edit a video. Might as well not add film into the mix, right?
What's your channel, man?
Yeah, it's if you look up James Red with 2 D's, that's my name. What was your name, man?
Abraham.
Abraham, okay.
Abe.
Okay.
I got this real cool shot the other day by the temple, just another photographer shooting a wedding, but
yeah,
it was like COVID stuff, so like wearing a mask.
Yeah. That's one thing I have been really enjoying, is just trying to capture people with masks and in different situations. Like I just went to a grocery store and there were a bunch of people coming out with masks on, and all of that's just super intriguing to me, and just how we're all reacting to this. It's a weird time for everybody, I think. Luckily it hasn't affected my income and things like that.
Yeah,
That's
I'm still working.
Super good. Yeah, that's good to hear. That's great to hear. All right, man, I'll leave you to it.
All right, thanks, man.
I'd shake your hand, but
Yeah, no, it's all good.
But I'd love to keep in touch too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, cool, man. See you around. Ooh, terrific. Always nice to meet another street photographer. Now I'm gonna go have dinner. That is it for this photo walk, but I did want to share with you some things that we can take away from a couple of the photo situations that I encountered in this photo walk. One is this photo. I think that we can learn that even if you're in a smaller town, that you can find a diamond in the dirt. And a lot of times that's what we're trying to do as street photographers. And this is something that you should do patiently, ideally, or else you're going to end up being very frustrated. Whether you're in a big city or a small city or a farm town, it takes patience to find good photos. Now, it is true that if you're in New York City, you're provided with a plethora of opportunities that you would not get in a farm town. But if you're in that farm town has unique opportunities to share as well. Either way, it takes a lot of patience and diligence. And every city and town has its own character that you can leverage. In this case, in Provo, it's a very colorful place. There's not that many people walking around in comparison to even Salt Lake City, but there's a lot of art to play with, a lot of interesting architecture to play with, a lot of interesting paint colors on the walls to play with. And I would encourage you to look for that wherever you live. In this case, I happened to be in the right place at the right time for a fellow to come by on a bicycle in front of a very pleasing background with a lot of interesting things going on. Because I was patient and diligent and there, I was able to capture this serendipitous moment of this fellow on a bicycle rolling in front of a very pleasing background. Next, I want to talk about the baseball photos, which is another serendipitous event, by the way. You don't always see people playing baseball on the sidewalk. In my previous video, I addressed a comment that had a question that asked, when should you approach people to ask for their photo? You don't have to legally. Well, what's a good strategy around that? And I said that it has to do with the circumstance and your goals. Where the previous photo was a split-second decisive moment type of event where it was a good strategy for me to not ask. In this case, it was a good strategy for me to ask because one, they would have noticed me from a mile away and I would have disrupted the scene, especially considering there's very few people walking around on the streets. I would have been noticed less if I was on the streets of New York City. Hi, wife.
Hi, husband.
Asking them also allowed me to get into their bubble, interact with them, create a little bit of a relationship with these guys, and move around and create different shots from different angles. And that was a powerful force in the way that these photos turned out. And the last photos I want to talk about were the ones at the grocery store. This is an example of why it's a good idea to go where the story is. You can create very interesting photos out of this, and sometimes the photos are incredibly compelling and sometimes they're not so compelling, but where the story is, compelling photos do await. I've been fascinated by where people have been funneled into in the midst of this pandemic, the necessities where people have to go into public and how they're interacting with the public, and the fact that everybody is wearing masks. It really changes the way the entire world feels right now. But fundamentally, I've always been fascinated by the way people respond to situations in life. And in particular, I've always been fascinated by the way people respond to adversity in life. And this is something that I want to explore more. Okay, that's it for this one. Once again, link to Livestream if you want to watch me edit some photos in a very peaceful state. Grab some tea, enjoy yourself. And let me know if you want more live streams of that sort or Lightroom videos of that sort. If there's anything specific that you're very curious about with my process, I'm fiddling around with that idea. If you have any questions about my process in this video, please feel free to ask. If you hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. If you hit the subscribe button, because you enjoy my videos, I would really appreciate it as well. I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.